Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Tuesday night call. We've got 2 or 3 things on our agenda tonight. Hopefully Joe is here, and I know Vanessa is here, and we're going to do a role play with them. And also, if Deborah Smith is here, we're going to... Deborah, are you here? I don't hear Deborah. Okay. Well, then we'll start without her. I got an email this week from one of our students, and it says this right here. It says, I don't know what to do. Some of my downline tell me they want other methods to market their business, and I keep telling them that eventually they're going to have to pick up the phone and talk to someone. What do I do? And you know, that's like poison ivy. It spreads. And everybody is looking for an easier way to work their business. And goodness knows, I'm a member of that club. I've spent way over a decade looking for an easier way to work the business. And we all know there's all kinds of alternative solutions out there, all the social media and email campaigns. And I love them all. But when I look at the results at the end of the day as to where the money came from, where the new members came from, it seems to be it was the folks that I met in the doctor's office or at the automobile dealership, or the folks that I actually picked up the phone, whether they were folks in the town where I lived or leads that I spoke to. It was people that I connected with and had a conversation. And that is the answer that I sent to that lady in Texas, and she was satisfied with the answer. If Deborah Smith has shown up, I'd like to get started. If she hasn't, Vanessa, you and I are going to go to work. So, Deborah, are you here? I don't hear you. Okay. Vanessa, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay.
I beg your pardon?
No, I just said, can you hear me okay?
Oh, perfectly. Lovely. Lovely. Okay. And tonight, Vanessa and I are going to do a back and forth role play, but we're going to focus on talking to someone about having a conversation, but their health and what they've experienced, what they're looking for. And if the conversation doesn't lend itself towards opening the door to go to a product or a solution, we'd like to show you why you don't have to. It saves rejection, and why you can save a relationship, and people say you're not trying to sell them something, and to protect yourself and your mindset of all things, goodness, that you need more of an indication before you go to the next step. Therefore, you haven't presented, and the whole thing is a whole much better experience. Isn't that what we talked about a couple of weeks ago, Vanessa?
Well, I know we were talking about the 3-minute.
That's right. That's exactly right. Yes. Yes, the 3-minute dialogue. So if it's okay with you, we're going to, let's see if we can do this like we talked about, okay?
Okay.
All right. Hello, Vanessa?
Hi. Yes.
Vanessa, this is John, and I'm just getting back to you because you recently filled out a request from some information about wellness, and you wanted some no obligation. So I have a ton of information on you, by the way. So you were looking for supplemental income, and you were looking for wellness products, and it sounded like you were wanting to make some money from home. So I was wondering, of everything that you've been doing, what did you like best so far in your search?
Well, I've just kind of been looking to see what was out there. I've been laid off for some time, and so I was just searching around, seeing what was available that I could be able to do from home. So I don't know. What is it that you're offering?
Well, I'm not offering anything. What I'm trying to do is figure out, what you're really looking for. So we can figure out whether or not it's something you could do. And when you said you were looking for wellness, is that because you have an interest in wellness?
Yeah, I just figured that was pretty much where the trend was right now, that everybody's really into their health and, staying healthy, that kind of thing. So I thought that would be a good thing to look into.
Have you had any experience in, working from home or with wellness, Vanessa?
No, I haven't.
Okay. So when you thought about this process of working from home, what is your criteria? I mean, do you know specifically what you want in a business? Have you explored the options?
No, actually, I haven't done. Like I said, I just wanted to just try to get a feel for what was actually out there to see if anything was really, a good fit, or if I thought it would be something that I would be able to do from home. So, no, actually, I don't really have a criteria. I know I don't want to have to be going nothing door to door, no sales or anything like that. But other than that, I really couldn't tell you.
Okay. So when you say you're wanting to see what's out there, if I could show you how to do an evaluation, an assessment, whether you decide to work with me or somebody else, that could help you to have a better understanding of, what to do, when to do it, so you could eliminate as much risk as possible and even try the product for free on top of that. If we took it one step at a time going through this process, is that something you're looking for?
When you say try the product for free, what, are you saying that I have to purchase something?
No, what I'm saying is if you want to try a product, to prove to yourself that the value is there and the benefits are there, because after all, if the product doesn't make sense to you and it doesn't work for you, why would you want to be in the business? Does that make sense?
Yes, that does make sense. However, I'm looking to make money, so are you telling me that I'm going to have to be spending money?
I'm saying that if you're going to go into the business, you said you had $400 to invest in a business, and eventually, if this works out for you, you'd be spending maybe $100 to go into business. So is that a budgetary problem for you?
Is this just a one-time thing that is this like a kit or something that gets me started, or is this something I'm going to be spending on an ongoing basis?
In getting into a business, it depends upon what level that you want to come into a business. If you want to try the product for a month with no risk whatsoever, if you don't like it, you can get your money back. And, the products range anywhere, let's say, in the $50 range. So if you want to try a product to test out your needs, your wants, and the value you're looking for, you have that option with no risk. And you can stop right there and make an evaluation as to whether or not you actually want to be in the business, because then you've tried the product and you know what's in it for you. Is that conservative enough for you?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. So what I'd like to suggest, if I could please, is that with your permission, I'll send you an evaluation tool that we can go through tomorrow or the next day as soon as you can get through it, and see how many questions that are in this, there's about 7 of them, resonate with you. We'll go through them together, make sure that you have the answers. And if you like the answers, and there's probably going to be some questions there, Vanessa, that you didn't even think of, and that's the idea, to help you get comfortable. If you're satisfied with that evaluation process, then we'll get you trying the product. We'll do a clinical trial together over a month, make sure that every week you're able to measure the value and the benefits, and at the end of that month, if you like the product, then we'll talk. Any further, we will. If you don't, you'll get your refund back, and I'll wish you the very best. How does that sound?
That sounds good. So you're saying within a month's time, then I should be able to gauge whether or not I like this product or not?
Yes, ma'am. And that at the end of that month, if you don't see the value and the benefits, then it would be best if you just took your money back and we refunded it, because if the product doesn't work for you, there's really no reason for being in the business. If you're not passionate and believe in the product, how can you work a business?
Okay, so now does the product consist of me having to sell the product to someone else, or I'm not really understanding?
Okay. Well, you and I have been talking for close to 4 minutes here. Have I tried to sell you a product?
No, No, you haven't.
Okay. Have I asked you whether or not you had an interest in trying a product to see whether or not it fits you, and if you don't like it, you could get your money back?
Yes.
Okay. Do you consider that selling or helping someone to help themselves?
No, I would consider that helping someone.
Okay. Then you already know how we work our business. We don't make an attempt to sell anybody anything.
Okay.
Everyone should deserve the right to try a product and make sure it fits them first. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it definitely does.
Okay. And then after you try the product, if you like it, we can talk about other people that you know that you would like to help the way you help yourself, so you could get your product eventually for free, simply by helping other people and referring other people. Do you consider that selling?
No, but I'm just trying to figure out how am I going to be making any money. I mean, my whole purpose for looking for something to do from home was to be able to make money, so how is this going to be making me any money?
Okay. If you like the product and you took step number 1 and you were comfortable, if you want to refer people and took step number 2 where you could get your product for free and other people would get their product for free, then you've learned how to work the business, and you can work the business by bringing on other people that would work the business the same way you're working it, exactly as we're talking about right now.
Okay. Now, would this just give me a little bit of money or a lot of money? I mean, because I'm not looking just to make a little change in the pocket. I mean, I'm actually looking to make money to be able to stay at home.
I don't know how much money you can make, Vanessa, and that's not a question that is easy to answer, because if you do, it's called enticement. It's not legal. Some people make a lot of money. Some people don't make any money. It depends upon how much passion you have and whether or not you treat it like a business or you treat it like a hobby.
Okay, but there are people that are involved in this business that are able to make enough to live off of.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Would you like to speak to some of those people in doing your due diligence?
I would.
Would you like to be able to ask them questions? How long it took them to get to their first payday? How long have they been working their business? Do they enjoy their business?
Yeah, that would definitely be something I would like to know.
If you remind me when we talk tomorrow and we go over this assessment tool, let's do that step as well. How does that sound?
That sounds great, Jonathan.
Okay. Tomorrow, same time, same station. How does that sound to you?
Sounds great.
All right. If that's okay with you, unless you have some questions, I'll get this out in the email to you right away with all my contact information. I'll call you the same tomorrow night, and then we'll start going through this and make sure that all of your questions are answered. So do you see the benefit in this for you? Is this different than what you've been talking to before?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, people that I've talked to in the past just wanted you to just give them your money up front, and they really didn't give you very much information. So, yeah, I definitely like this process.
So you see this is really about you for a change, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So if you're comfortable, then I'll see you tomorrow night, okay?
Okay.
Bless you. I'll see you tomorrow night.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. Now, that took longer than 3 minutes because Vanessa had more questions. But the point is, we did the whole thing in about 7 minutes, even with all of her questions. Any of our co-hosts have any questions or comments? Come on, guys. You're never shy.
Hey, John, this is Ann.
Yes.
Hi. I thought that Vanessa, when she asked you very directly, when you started talking about the product and testing the product, she asked you very directly whether she needed to put some money up front for that.
Uh-huh.
It was interesting to me sort of how you deflected and worked around your answer. But there was a lot of, and followed up with a lot of her questions and asking for clarification.
Well, the idea is that she did fill out and say she had $400 to invest, and we know that most businesses you can get in at some level around $100. So when you say $100, you're diffusing their concerns, and then if they want to go to a higher level after you've gone through the process, that's okay. But the whole idea is to get them comfortable. It's not a bait and switch. You're not manipulating them. It's a simple fact. You can start out at a lower level if you're on a budget.
Right. But what was interesting to me is that you didn't say, well, you would need to purchase with full money back guarantee. So in other words, you would have to put some of her money up front, even if it was $100. You never came out and said that clearly, but I think at the end, Vanessa understood that there was some level of investment because you brought up the point around $100.
Okay. Thanks, Ann. Tell Damien I said hi, please.
Will do.
Okay. Anybody else have a question or comment before we move on to our next segment? Okay. I believe Deborah's shown up. My email says I'm here.
Hello.
Deborah.
Hi.
Okay. Everybody, this is Deborah, and we met about the 1st of December, the end of November last year. We've spoken a few times on the phone. She has been working her network marketing business, hasn't been happy with her results. She has very high expectations of herself. And over the last month or two, Deborah has been compiling a list of questions. Is that true, Deborah?
That's correct.
And about 2 or 3 weeks ago, we were visiting on our regular weekly sessions, and it came down to, are you ready with your list? And she kind of giggled and said, yeah, are you ready for my list? And if you hear Deborah giggling in the background, I got a feeling she's really ready. Is that what you're really trying to say, young lady?
That's right.
That's right. Okay. So we're going to do a Q&A session now, and this is going to be questions that Deborah has experienced that she has found frustrating, found complicated, involving mindset issues, confidence, that she's been accumulating these, and she saved them all up for tonight. Is that right?
Yes.
If you're ready to go, please ask your first question.
Okay. This first question is, I don't have a whole lot of time. Realistically, how much time does it take me to do this?
If you just have a few minutes, I'll be glad to go over this with you. Do you have just a few minutes? And we'll proceed. If you don't, we'll make another. Okay?
Yeah. What I mean is, how much time will it take me to do the business per week?
At least 10 to 15 hours.
Okay. 10 to 15 hours.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Here comes some more. I'm not interested.
Okay. Since I have all of this information on you that you've provided in the last 24 hours, have your circumstances changed since you asked for supplemental income from home? Because I'm not a salesman or telemarketer, Deborah. I'm just responding to your request. So if you want me to delete your file, I'll be glad to. May I have your permission?
Yes.
Okay. I will delete your file. Bless you and have a good day.
All right, thanks. Okay, this is an objection at the beginning of a call when you're first breaking the ice with the person, and then they interrupt and they say, what is it?
Deborah, you recently said you wanted some no-obligation, free information about supplemental income and working from home, improving your financial situation, and you happen to have chosen wellness. So what I do is help people evaluate, understand, know what's expected of them, and do some discovery to figure out what's out there. So if you do decide to make a decision at a later date, it'll be a decision that's best for you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that does. Thank you. Now, here's one where you've sent them the information, and they tell you that they went over the information, and they say, to be honest with you, you know what, it sounds way too good to be true.
When you say it's too good to be true, could you please clarify that, Deborah?
It sounds way too good to be true to make that kind of money.
Well, Deborah, not everybody can make that kind of money, and it all depends upon how serious you take the business, how much time you put into it, and really, no one knows but you how much effort you're going to put into it. So does that make you more comfortable realizing that it's not based upon somebody else's success, it's based upon what you're willing to put into it as far as your time and your effort? Does that make sense?
Okay, so what you're telling me is if I put in a serious amount of time and effort, then I can make the same kind of big money that it shows on the website?
I'm not saying that you can make that kind of money until you actually work at it, prove to yourself you can do it, get comfortable with it. Just because you put 10 or 15 hours a week into it doesn't mean that you can hit the ball or drop the basketball in the basket or run a 5-minute mile. It means that you worked hard. But the point is, if you're wanting to make money from home and you do put that kind of effort in, you can make good money. Now, whether or not you get to the top of the pyramid, so to speak, the top of the ladder, that's based upon you. So are you talking about $300, $400, $500 a month to prove to yourself that you can do it and then really put some more effort into it to be more successful? Do you have those kind of expectations?
Yes, I do.
Okay, that's realistic.
Okay. The next one is, do you have any double-blind studies on the products offered in your company?
Many companies do, and the specific company that you asked about does have double-blind studies.
Okay, so you can email me that or show me where to get to that?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, I don't feel comfortable getting involved in a company and promoting their products unless I know for sure that they work. So, what can we do about that?
How about if you try the product for a month with absolutely no risk whatsoever, evaluate it over the month, actually do a clinical trial where you keep track of your situation, and at the end of the month, if you're not satisfied with it, you return the empty bottle and get your money back, no questions asked.
All right. That sounds good. Okay. Well, John, I did my homework, and I went through the information that you emailed me, and I even Googled your company's name and took a look at some of your competitors' websites, and guess what? They're selling the exact same thing that you are, and they claim to be the fastest-growing team in your company, and when I join under them, I get a free system and a free monthly leads package to build my business with, and that sounds like a pretty good deal. What kind of offer can you make me to gain my business?
Okay, now that answer to that question is based upon the specific network marketing company that you're involved in. So we're going off the record here now. I know that several companies have these types of packages, and depending upon which company you're with, if they have the package, then you can talk about the package. If you don't, or you cannot compete with, for example, a company that says, I provide free leads, or I provide things like autoresponders, what have you, then the only answer you can give them is, we do not offer those benefits. However, we do have other benefits that other companies don't have, and if you know the benefits of your business, everybody has a list of your benefits, at least on a 3x5 card, where you can say, but how would these benefits work for you? What do you think of these benefits? And you focus on your benefits.
Okay. Your company seems to place a lot of weight on the marketing website regarding personal testimonials. And to be quite honest with you, they sound pretty impressive. But I was wondering, how do I know that those testimonials are really true?
The best way to understand a testimonial is to use the product yourself and prove to yourself the benefits and the value, because what you think is far more important than someone else's opinion.
That's true. Very good. Now, I'm just going to be real honest with you here. I can purchase your product on eBay for a whole lot less money.
Yes. And when you purchase that product, if you're wanting to work the business, own your own business, have the support, the training that you need to be successful, you're not going to get that on eBay. So if you're just looking for the product and not to make money, maybe you might want to consider that. If you're wanting to make money and own your own business and have the support that you need to be successful, then you need to make an investment in yourself.
Okay. Well, my friend tried to do network marketing, and it didn't work for her.
How long was she in the business?
About a year.
Does she know why, in her opinion, it didn't work for her?
I don't think so.
Do you know how many hours a week she worked?
A lot of people about it.
Okay. Do you know how many hours a week she worked her business?
At least a couple every night.
Oh, so she worked her business maybe 10 hours a week?
Mm-hmm.
Did she have support, someone that was there for her if she was not having success, that could listen to her and help her to work through her problems?
As far as I know, she did.
She did. So she had wonderful support, had a wonderful product, and worked her business at least 10 hours a week. Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Then I would have to say respectfully that perhaps her approach in working with people, her style of working with people, that she didn't connect. And maybe she spent more time presenting rather than trying to help people like we're trying to help you and answer your questions.
Okay.
Most people that don't enjoy success is because it's all about them and it's not about the other person. And if it isn't all about you, then you're never going to get comfortable.
Right.
That's the difference.
Okay. Well, what do you do whenever they say, I'm already in a network marketing company. I was just checking your deal out.
Wonderful. And how long have you been in the business?
Oh, about 5 years.
And how long did it take you to get to your first big payday?
Oh, about a year.
Have you broken 6 figures yet?
No, not yet.
Okay. Would you like to learn how to break 6 figures?
I sure would.
Is there anything in your business that you would change if you could?
Wow, that's a great question. Probably getting started costs.
Okay. What about the support?
The support's good.
The support is good?
It's just a little out of most people's range financially.
The support is out of most people's... What do you mean by that?
The cost to get started.
Oh, the price, the products?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what do you consider as too much for the cost of a product?
Well, not the product, the monthly product, but the starting package.
Okay.
$1,500.
Oh, $1,500. Well, there's so many different levels in a way you can start a business, and it sounds to me like you'd be more interested in starting your business at a lower level and working your way up after you prove to yourself that it will work for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that sounds about like it.
Okay.
Okay. Now let's say this is a scenario. You call your lead for a follow-up appointment and they say, well, I just got started with your XYZ company from the link that you sent me in the email, but the problem is the email was from somebody else, so they didn't really get started with your email. With your company.
I honestly don't know how to answer that one.
Mixed up with someone else.
Oh, they think you're somebody else?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would say, did you see my subject line on my email? Perhaps you received more than one email. What was the subject line? Because my subject line was, Danny, information you just requested, or Danny, we just spoke. Was that the subject line on my email? Oh, no, you were looking at the one that said something else, so that's one way to help them identify. When your subject lines can be very, very important And that's a great question to pinpoint you if they're looking at multiple scenarios. And don't make your subject line generic. Make it specific.
Okay. Now what do you say when they say, well, just email me your information and I'll get back with you after I look it over?
When they do that, believe it or not, I send them my email. I send them the information. Because they're not interested. They're just tire kicking. And I'll say, I'll be glad to send you the information. I mean, if you want to, you could go into Discovery and say, you know, do you have a few minutes? Could I focus on you to make sure that the information that I send you fits you? Would that be okay? And if they say yes, I'd say, well, this will only take a couple of minutes, and I'll hurry, and I'll get out of your hair. They say, no, I don't have a couple of minutes. Then you send them the information. If they don't have a couple of minutes to invest in themselves, do you really think they have any time to invest in helping themselves?
Doubtful.
Okay. Most of the time when they say that, when you say, it'll only take a couple of minutes, I'll get out of your hair, I just want to focus and make sure that what I send you is what you're looking for. Is that okay? Just take a couple of minutes. Most of the time they'll say, okay, a couple of minutes.
Okay. All right, here's another one. Oh, I've heard of your XYZ company. Your company has really good products, but you've been around for about at least 10 years, and I'm a little bit leery when it comes to a business that offers products in an already saturated market.
So you're saying that the fact that General Motors has been around for 100 years, we have a saturated market, that Ford's been around for over 100 years and we have a saturated market? If the product has value and worth, why would you be worried about a saturated market? What is your...
Well, I'm just afraid nobody will want to buy the products.
I'd almost have to laugh at that question, Deborah. I mean, it just tells me that their elevator doesn't go past sporting goods and lingerie. Okay,
Yeah.
I would have to just take a deep breath and kind of chuckle and say, well, when you really think about it, you're saying that everybody in town and everybody in America is buying this product. Well, that's just not true.
Okay. Well, what if your products are vitamins and stuff?
Okay. So the question is what is the question? Yes. So they're wellness products. So what is your question? Could you clarify that, please?
Yes. Leery about a business that offers products in an already saturated market.
Okay. Respectfully, I would have to address the fact that this is not a saturated market. 86% of all expenditures are on wellness. It's more than housing in this country. Everyone is looking for wellness. Housing is number 2. When you look at the federal disclosures, more money is spent. Housing is 31% of your paycheck. Wellness in all forms is actually more than your paycheck. People don't realize how much they really spend on wellness. So it's not a saturated market. In fact, that's why there's so many people in the market trying to meet the need. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that makes a little bit more sense. Okay, I'm looking for a ground floor opportunity.
What is your definition? Could you clarify ground floor, please?
Ground floor opportunity is a company that's a startup company that's going to be opening up in all the states, and you'll be the first to be involved.
And why is it important for you to be the first?
So you can be at the top of the heap.
And if you join the company 1 year later, wherever you start, you're still at the top of the heap because you only get paid on who's below you, not on top of you. You'll always be at the top wherever you start.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, what do you do when you follow up with someone and you've already interviewed them and you're following up to collect their decision, and they say, well, I haven't looked over the information you sent me yet?
There's two ways
This is the same scenario with two different questions. This is the first question.
Okay. So what is it that's prevented you from looking at this information?
Well, I just have so many emails I can't get through them.
Okay. When will you have time to look at this information?
Oh, I should have time the next day or two.
Okay. If we make an appointment in 2 days, will you be ready to discuss so I can answer your questions and make sure that you're comfortable?
That ought to work.
Perfect. Let's do it.
Okay. Here's question number 2 for that same scenario. I looked over the information that you sent me in your email, and I need more time to think about it.
What was it that you need more time to think about?
Whether it's right for me.
And what were your concerns? It sounds like you're not sure. What was it about it that you didn't
promote it?
Whether or not you can promote it is your concern?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you knew what to do, how to do it, and when to do it, and to be able to have this knowledge and do this process before you join the business, would that answer your question?
Absolutely.
Okay. I'll be glad to extend that courtesy to you if you're ready to get started, and we'll start on that process. Okay?
That's perfect. Now, here's another one. Will I be making calls and talking to strange people that I don't know in order to build my business?
Okay. Do you remember how you filled out this request for information, Deborah?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm a strange person to you, am I not?
Yes.
But I did respond to your request because you raised your hand and asked for the information. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So the question is, are you comfortable in answering people's questions and helping people and doing just what we're doing? Could you be comfortable doing that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Think of yourself as customer service.
Okay.
Because we've been talking for a little while now. I haven't asked you for any money, have you, or tried to sell you anything?
No.
Okay, and we won't. So if you're comfortable with us working with you the way we are now and answering your questions and finding out what you need, do you think you could help other people like you're being helped now in the same manner?
Yeah, I think I could do it.
Okay.
Okay. Here's one I've had. Network marketing is not really stable like a regular job. People, they swing from one opportunity to another, and then your downline can collapse and your whole income can vanish.
Well, let's take that one piece at a time. Network marketing and owning your own business is one of the last bastions of financial independence that's left in business today, and it's by far one of the most popular. Now, your next question was, please, about what? What was the rest of that question?
Yeah, people swing from company to company, so your downline can collapse and your income vanish.
Okay. In any business, it's built on relationships. It's built on trust. And it's built on service. If you don't provide the relationship, the trust, or the service, it's no different than any other business anywhere. People will job hop. So it basically reflects back on you as to what kind of a person you are in building your business, because it is your business. Does that make sense?
That's a good answer.
Okay. And the last part of the question again, please?
The last part, your downline collapses and your income vanishes.
Okay. We've already answered that in relationship to if there is no service, if there is no comfort, if there is no relationship, and there is no trust, it's no different than a restaurant serving bad food. You're going to lose your customers. Or a tire store that doesn't service your car. Or an appliance store that sells lousy appliances, or they won't service them. You will reap what you put into the business. If you provide good service and these folks realize that you're there for them, you'll get a good portion that will stick with you because they're going to be there because of you. If they don't believe in you, they don't believe in the value of the product, then they are going to go someplace else. And rightly they should. Doesn't that sound fair?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Okay, very nice. Thank you. With a gatekeeper, when you call for Susie the prospect, and he says, Susie isn't here right now, what's this about?
Okay. Susie has asked for some information about supplemental income because she was wanting to help out regarding your financial situation. And so, by the way, how do you feel about Susie helping out with your financial situation?
Well, actually, that's a first to me.
Okay. Well, she asked for no obligation information regarding this because she was doing some exploring, and I'm sure she'd want to discuss it with you as soon as she figures out whether or not it's something she could do to help out, because she sounded very serious about wanting to help out.
Okay, I'll take your name and number and have her give you a call.
All righty.
Okay, here's one. You're the 10th person who's called me. Where do you get my name?
I'm very sorry to hear that, but because you filled out multiple forms on the Internet, each one of these individuals are responding to your request for information about making some money from home. And with all due respect, if I could focus on you, I'm not here to sell you anything or ask for any money, but I will be glad to give you the information if you're doing some research about making some supplemental income. Has your circumstances changed since you requested this information?
No, they haven't.
Okay. So if I could focus on you just for a couple minutes, I'll get out of your hair, and then you could decide whether or not this makes sense to you. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay. I have a few more. Your product is too expensive.
And when you say too expensive, how are you putting a value on your health?
Well, I take vitamins and stuff, but I mean, your stuff is higher than what my vitamins cost.
And how many years have you been taking the vitamins and the other products you've been taking, and have they addressed your particular specific wellness needs?
Well, they have so far as I can tell.
They have?
Mm-hmm.
Then why are you looking for wellness? Because you can try our products and with no risk to see if they provide you more benefit than the products you're using now. Are you open to that type of a situation?
Yeah, I'm open.
Okay. So let's figure out whether or not this fits you, and if you like what we're talking about here, you can try the product at absolutely no risk, and if it doesn't meet your expectations or the value or the benefits you're looking for, then no questions. Your money back. How does that sound?
Oh, that sounds fair.
Okay.
Okay, the next one is, I don't want my personal information like my Social Security number, my checking account number on file with your company. It's how people get their identity stolen.
If you went to McDonald's to flip hamburgers for $7 an hour, would you have to give them your Social Security number?
Yes, I would.
And when we send you a check every 2 weeks or every month, we have to claim your income and disclose that to the federal government, or else we can't send you your income. And by law, we're required to keep this information confidential, no different than a shoe store or Walmart or any other store. By law, we have to keep it confidential. But we must have the information in order to file your W-2s at the end of the year. We're required by law.
You're required by law.
That's right. We have to provide you your W-2s. Yes, we do.
Okay. Well, I can drive to Walmart and buy the same type of products that your company offers for less money. So what sense would it make for me to convince anyone to buy my products at a higher cost?
That's a very good question. When you look at the products at Walmart, if you look at the labels, compare the ingredients on the back of the labels, then look at the ingredients and ask yourself, do I want these ingredients in my body? Which ones are natural? Which ones are organic? Which ones are chemical? And ask yourself if your immune system wants to buy a product like that and put it in your system.
Good point. Okay. Have a few more. Now, you mentioned on the form that I filled out that I could start my business with an investment amount of $400. Could you explain to me how I would be using that $400 and how long it will take before I start seeing a return on my investment?
Yes. First of all, that was the amount that was asked. If you had that much, you could certainly start your business for less than that. That's number one. And you could start at a lower level until you're comfortable, okay? And work your way up. Now, how long will it take you to get your money back? Well, if you started, let's say, at $100 or $150 level, if you worked your business, let's say, 10 or 15 hours a week, you could get a return or be in the black within a month or two because you're going to be learning the business just like any other new occupation. There is a bit of a startup. But if you don't work your business like a business and take it serious, it could take you 3, 4, 5 months to get your money back until you learned the business. No different than any other occupation. You have to learn a new skill. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Very good. Now, are you making money in this company?
Yes, I am. But it's not important how much I'm making. It's important that you know what your potential is before you make a decision.
Okay. How long did it take you to start making money in this company?
How long it took me, even though I did make money relatively quickly, doesn't mean that you can do it or you couldn't do it faster. Once again, it all depends upon you, your work ethic, what kind of habits you have, and how quick of a study you are. So how successful I am, just like you asked me, your previous question is not germane. It all boils down to you doing your homework and being able to make your own informed decision as to what's best for you and not try to compare yourself to someone else, because doesn't it make sense? You're not them and they're not you.
Absolutely. Okay. Now this one I had from a personal family member, and the family member told me that they were already cracking a six-figure a year income already, and when I could show them my paycheck and it's bigger than my paycheck is bigger than theirs, that they would come on board with me in my network marketing deal.
The first question I would ask, please, is, are you looking for financial security, for freedom, for owning your own business? Is that what you're looking for, or are you just looking for a job? Because that's what you have right now. So how important is it for you to be in more control of your future? Do you want to be in control, or do you want your employer to be in control? Especially with the economy the way it is. So does it make sense that it might be a good idea to have a backup plan and something that you could do part-time for a couple of years and see whether or not that could replace your income and prove to you, so then you could make a decision based upon what you can do and not what I do, what you can do. Because if you're that good at your job and you're making six figures, just think what you could do if it was your own business. And you can prove it to yourself.
Okay.
That was a zinger. That was a zinger, Deborah. Go ahead.
I think that's covered a lot of them right there.
Thank God, you wore me out. Okay. All right, co-host, anybody got any comments about Deborah wearing me down to a frazzle?
No, I think all of those questions were questions, all that every one of us faced when we're on the call. So
Okay.
Great questions. I really appreciate Deborah asking those questions.
If we don't have any questions from our co-hosts, I'm going to open it up to our floor. So this is last chance. Anybody of our co-hosts have any questions or comments?
This is Barbara, and I think that was a really great way to do it. I think that was great work.
Well, give all the credit to Deborah. She's the one who put all the research into this, so kudos to you, Deborah. I'm going to open up the lines. Kudos to you, young lady.
Thank you.
All callers are unmuted.
We're unmuted, guest. Anybody have a question, please?
My name is Ashley, and I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, my question is, she posed a question as it relates to I think you kind of let the person go and you said, well, do you want me to take your name off the list? Which I think is fine, but wouldn't you want to say, well, here's my contact information if you change your mind and you're looking for, a business startup, or wouldn't it be better to leave your information even though you're going to take them off the list so that they can still have that available if they change their mind?
Absolutely. Wonderful question. Absolutely. Any other questions? No other questions? All right, I'm going to
John.
Go ahead.
Hello, this is Joe from Jersey.
Yeah, Joe from Jersey.
You said that most of our contacts will be from people that we meet. How do you, get around to asking, getting them to ask you about starting a business? It's rather than trying to be a salesman, I have this business that I'm working and it'd be great for you. How do you get them to approach you with the question?
Okay. There's a transition question that I think you'll like, Joe, and it sounds something like this. You've had a conversation, you've got an idea what they're looking for, they seem to be interested, but you don't want to rush to presenting because you don't want to be rejected, okay, Joe?
Okay.
So here's a transition question you could ask to protect yourself from rejection, and it sounds like this. Well, if I understand you correctly, this is what you're looking for, and we've accomplished a lot here. I may know of something that could help you. Are you the kind of person that's open to new ideas? If you are, I'd be glad to share with you because I don't know if it'll work for you or not. So, with your permission, would you like to talk about it?
Okay. That's good. Thank you.
And then if they give you permission, then you have permission to say, okay, and then off you go.
Okay.
Any more questions? And we'll see you next week, everybody. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye.
Thank you, John. Bless you, too.
Bye.